What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another 2-Minute Tuesday, the video series where I answer a question in less than 20 minutes. So let's roll the intro and let's get into it. So there's no way around it. Speed is a vital part of the game, and speed kills. A fast player combined with a good level of technical ability and a high level of tactical IQ can be an absolute nightmare to defend against. However, over the years of playing pro and watching other pros play, I've learned a few tricks or mental cues that I like to call them that can help even the playing field when defending against a faster player. So let's put the time on the screen and let's get started. Tip number 1, when they receive the ball with their back towards you, get tight and initiate contact. Typically, faster players want one thing. They want to receive the ball, they want to easily be able to turn, face up a defender, and start driving towards them with speed. So when possible and your player checks back to receive the ball with his back towards you and to your own goal, that means you can get tight and initiate contact to force that play backwards and prevent him from just turning and dribbling at you with speed. If you do this correctly, you're going to force that ball backwards and you're going to prevent that 1v1 situation before it even occurs. There's definitely an art to this, and it's all about timing, because if you get that timing wrong, you can put yourself in even a worse situation. Because if you're a step or two too early and you start to pressure that winger and try to initiate contact too soon before he receives the ball, a smart winger is going to understand that now the space is behind, he's just going to spin out and now get the ball in behind, and now you have to chase the faster winger down that line. Or if you're a step or even 2 steps too late and he's now received the ball and now you're flying at him, this is a dream situation for a winger. All he has to do is take 1 touch inside, 1 touch outside, and he'll be past you easily. The mental cue that I use as a defender in my own games is I try to arrive at the back of that attacker as he is receiving the ball. Me and the ball should be arriving at that attacker at the same exact time. As an added bonus, you can even bump him or knock him a little bit off balance just as he's trying to take his first touch, just to make it more difficult for him to control the ball. Tip number 2, if you're unable to get on their back and initiate contact as they're receiving the ball, then you need to drop back, give them a bit more respect, force them one way, and attempt to slow them down. Many times in a real game, it's just impossible for you to arrive at the back of your attacker as they're receiving the ball. If this situation happens in the game, you can't continue to fly at them because now they are at an advantage and they can dribble past you very easily. So what you need to do is accept your loss, start dropping back, and start to think about a few things. Your first thought should be, which way should I force this winger? Which foot is their strong foot? Which way did they attack and go last time? Where is my help defense? Typically, as a fullback marking a winger, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna force that winger outside, away from the center of the field. However, there's situations where you're going to cut off the line and force them inside. Sometimes you might have a center mid right there next to you and you wanna force them back into pressure. Or sometimes their striker might be making a run down into the corner flag and you wanna take 1 step over to the line to cut off that passing lane. Your body position and which way you force them is going to vary depending on the situation, but like I said, as a fullback, 9 times out of 10, you want to force them wide. Tip number 3, be patient. Football is not just a 1v1 game. You have 10 other teammates on the field, and by being patient, dropping back, and jockeying that attacker, you can buy yourself time. If you do this well enough, you can buy yourself enough time so that center mid can start coming over and providing a little bit extra support. Your midfielder or your winger can start back pressing that attacker, and then your center defender can even start to shift over and provide you support behind you. So by being patient and dropping back, you can make this 1v1 situation into a 1v2, a 1v3, or even a 1v4. Being patient actually makes it even harder for that winger as well. An intelligent and skilled winger is going to be driving at the defender, just waiting and waiting for that defender to make a move. As soon as that defender takes 1 step towards them, they can just push the ball past them and use their pace to just easily run by down the line or even cut inside past that defender. If they don't see that initial step from that defender and that defender just keeps on dropping, they have to keep on driving and waiting. They might throw in a move or two to try to get that defender to bite. So for you, as the defender in this situation, you want to be as patient as possible and not try to bite with their moves and not try to just lunge in and take a step towards that winger. You want to stay patient and wait for that attacker to make that aggressive touch one way or the other. Now, this is the most important part. Tip number 4, as they take their aggressive touch past you, step into them, initiate contact to slow down their momentum and win the ball. This is the part where I think most younger and inexperienced players fail. I think players get caught being a little bit too honest here. The absolute worst thing you can do in this situation, when that attacker drives at you, does a step over, pushes the ball down the line and explodes off, is for you just to turn and try to run side by side with him, step for step, against that faster winger. Of course that faster winger is going to beat you. Of course he's going to get past you. Not only is he faster, but he also has the advantage of being able to make that first move while you're reacting. So as soon as he does that move, or as soon as he takes that aggressive touch past you, your first movement should be into that attacker. Initiate contact into that player. And I'm saying initiate contact because I'm not saying foul them. You don't want to just completely bowl them over, just double hand push them. You don't want to make it obvious here, but all you're trying to do is just initiate a little bit of contact, a little forearm across the chest, a little shoulder to shoulder, a little hip to hip, whatever it is, to just slow down their momentum. I've personally been on teams with some of the slowest defenders ever, but yet they're able to completely lock down incredibly fast wingers because they're very smart with their contact. As soon as that winger starts to make that movement, they're predicting that movement and they're initiating contact using their body to bump, slow down, and get in between that player and the ball. If you watch all the best defenders in the world, they're all using this technique at one point or another. And when it's done right, it will never be called for a foul. And of course, there's incredibly fast defenders like Kyle Walker that might not do this every time, and they can go step for step with some of these incredibly fast wingers. But for the most part, most of these defenders will be using that initiation of the contact, form across the chest, shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip, whatever, to slow down the momentum of wingers to now swing the advantage in their favor. So that's it, guys. That's 4 tips that I've learned over the years defending some incredibly skilled and incredibly fast wingers. So I hope this helps you. If it did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, guys, peace. How you doing, Tommy?